Well, good evening. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Of course.
As you know, everyone, we normally are on during the day, but we happen to be at a meet and greet for business owners, emerging leaders, business
Mhm.
owners right here in Fayetteville. And as you know, Formation Live is all about helping leaders be who healthy vision requires through meaningful conversations and practical leadership insights. And I thought, what better than to grab some of the leaders that are here
Yes,
tonight
yes.
and just have a quick conversation. So, to let everyone know what you're doing here in Fayetteville. And I was so impressed. And by the way, forgive me, this is Chris.
Yes, nice to meet y'all. I'm Chris.
And Chris is a teacher.
Yes, I am a teacher.
So tell everybody about yourself.
Yes, so my name is Chris Moultrie, originally from Mobile, Alabama.
Mhm.
Came here by way of education, I guess you can
Wow.
say. I attended Morehouse College,
Mhm.
graduated in 2024, started a master's program literally the month after I graduated.
Nice.
Just graduated with my master's in elementary education in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm a fifth grade teacher. I'm a cheer coach.
Mhm.
I'm a doctoral student at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, getting my doctorate in education and diversity and equity. Long titles.
But that is my background. Everybody already knows that I spent over 30 years in human resources.
Yes.
And that was always a fixture of, before it became DEI.
Yes.
We always talked about
Finding
that.
ways
Mhm.
to have belonging and
Yes.
inclusion and all the things. So that's where I'm focusing.
Oh, we definitely have to connect.
We do.
Brandon, who was here for the Formation Live Unpacked a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And it's almost as if you both have the same pathway.
Yeah.
He is also a doctorate student as well, but he is an instructor. And forgive me, Brandon, I know I'm going to mess this up, but he's an instructor at a college.
Okay.
So I think the two of you connecting
Absolutely.
would be amazing. So Brandon, I'm
Absolutely.
going to connect you and Chris.
I'll be looking forward to it.
And that's what this is all about. It's really around through conversations, but also connecting, because I know that there's something that's going to shift within the education mountain.
Yes.
And
yes.
just in our short conversation, I know that that is on your heart. Would you mind sharing?
Absolutely.
Long term, you have a vision of helping to give access to students.
Absolutely. So one, thank you for the push and the challenge.
Everybody knows I push. I'm a pusher.
Thank you. So yes, I'm currently building an AI ed tech platform that helps teachers with their instructional practice as a whole.
Mhm.
So basically teachers will have the opportunity to upload videos or record lessons, feed it into AI, and AI gives like, what did your engagement drop off? What was your instruction scored? What were your glows and grows? What are the strategies that you can use to reach the students that were in the back of the room?
Mhm.
And all of this was created so that I can ensure that one day I'm gonna be a father, but I also have siblings, but I'm also a teacher.
Mhm.
And so I think about the world as I'm already living in the future. And so how can I make education more accessible for students that don't typically look like their teachers? A great example is Black men make up 1.6% of the teaching profession, which is scary. It's an anomaly to not have a Black teacher in Atlanta or Metro Atlanta, and even more of not that much of a rarity to have a Black male teacher. Everyone has.
I'm from up north, and I can tell you that the moment you said that you were a teacher, I was like, come on. And I had to literally come on because this was not planned.
Yes,
it
wasn't.
Always be ready.
That was the lesson today. Always be ready.
But that was what really struck me. And what's interesting, as you were talking, I kind of was glazing over. I'm like, I don't understand a word you're talking about. But the one thing I did get from what your vision is that no child will get left behind.
Absolutely.
And the one question that did pop in my mind was, how will the future of what you're building, how will that impact even those families that have decided to homeschool their kids?
That's a great question. So View essentially is built for bold teaching. So whether it's homeschool, private school, charter school, parochial schools, public school, whatever the school is, it is ideally for the teacher to become a better practitioner. So I like to call myself an improvement scientist. So yes, I'm an educator, but I'm an improvement scientist at the base of who I am. I love to go into systems and help find ways that can be improved upon. And so I know that as a teacher, one thing that we don't really get a lot of is instructional coaching. And Tim Tebow, AJ McCarron, any great quarterback. As you can see, I'm from Alabama, so I only know Alabama football.
Well, I don't know football at all, so you're good.
Any great football players have a coach. And even our strongest NBA players, LeBron James, he has a coach. You don't just get the opportunity to walk out onto the court and just do what you want to do. There's a system and a way that we do things.
Yes.
And so having coaches not only sets the tone, but it sets the culture, sets the traditions, but it sets the standard. And one thing that we don't have a lot of in the education space is one, instructional coaches, but two, effective instructional coaches. And so View was born out of, I started my first year teaching second grade. And it's no shade to anyone, but this is just my story. I had instructional coaches. They weren't great instructional coaches. And so I found myself trying to figure out, okay, well, am I a great teacher? Because you walked in the room and you said I was doing everything right, but you was looking for, was the learning target on the board? Were the students sitting in their seats? Was the students on task? But did you actually observe my practice? Because if you're observing my practice, students sitting in their seat may not be the best opportunity or way for them to learn. Some students need to touch and feel and see and investigate on their own. And so as I was going through my own reflection of, am I a good teacher? I started to say, well, I'm not the only one. There are millions, I'm sure, of other teachers who are questioning, not only am I a good teacher, but how do I show up better for my students? And so within the platform, districts, school principals, teachers themselves, you can set the index to whatever you would like. So you can create your own culturally relevant rubric to say, am I meeting my students and talking to who they are at home? A great example that I love to give is if I take 3 little boys in the hood and then 3 little boys in the gated community. If I ask them, there are 5 birds in a tree and you throw a rock and hit 2, the expected answer is that 5 birds, 2, 3, right? Because 5 minus 2 is 3. But those little black kids in the hood may say, well, if I throw a rock at a tree and some birds in it, all the birds can fly away. And so
which is accurate.
It's the way they think, the way they experience the world is different. And so it's not that you're wrong or you're wrong for not thinking more realistically. It's the way in which we're taught. And so meeting students at the levels of which they've experienced the world to help them create the worlds they would like to see.
And it's adding that context to the equation because oftentimes it's, here's a formula, but if I have not experienced that formula, where is that taken into consideration? So I love that. And I know that we're going to stay connected because
I need someone to push me.
And that's the thing. And all for my vision investors for Favor Together, this is where we talk about funding visions. At the end of the day, we can hear some great visions from emerging leaders, but that support comes that push. But it's also, that funding, in order to really get this out there, because there's teachers and coaches in all different spaces, right? Because whether you're in ministry, whether you're in the marketplace, whether you are, I call them foundation builders, the families, we're all teachers in some capacity. But the one thing that I'm big on is how do we measure outcomes? And that's what you're building.
That's what I'm
building. I love that. And we're going to keep pushing you. And more importantly, we want to make sure that, we're doing our part in order to help you see this come to pass, especially since you're right here in Fayetteville. And that's the purpose of why we've come together. So, Chryss, thank you so much for taking a few minutes. No problem. More to come from Chryss, and we're going to continue to jump on because there's other business owners that I'm going to bring in to just have some quick, meaningful conversations, and hopefully that we can get some additional leadership insights from the space and the capacity of what we operate in. So thank you again, Chris,
Thank you as well.
and we'll see you shortly with another leader from Fayetteville.